Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and today I want to do an unboxing. So recently Wacom just sent me one of their new products. It's called the Wacom ONE pen display, and it's really cool. I've delved into it a little bit just to see what it's all about, and it's a really great introductory pen display for those of you that are just getting started in the digital world, wanting to use Wacom products, which I highly recommend. And it's, like I said, it's a really great introduction. This is it right here. Comes in a nice size little box. The pen display itself is 13 1/3 inches, so it's just over 13 inches. And it's a little bit bigger than an iPad Pro, I believe. The thing about this I want you to remember, though, is unlike an iPad, this does not have the computer in it. You have to hook it up to a computer. It retails for $399, so it's a pretty good price. If you're, like I said, wanting to start with a Wacom product. The screen is HD 1920 by 1080. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a really cool little tablet for getting introduced to painting and drawing digitally if you want to draw on the screen. And so why don't we go ahead and open it up and see what it's all about. So we're just going to open it up here. All right, so I'm just going to slide it out of the box right here. And let's see, I'm going to put my spectacles on. And so what we have here, right on the cover, which is really cool, you've got Let's Get Started. And it's just basically a 1, 2, 3 setup. You connect the Wacom to your computer and plug in the power, and then install the latest driver, and what you just need to download. And then you register your Wacom ONE to download the software account, to download the software. And it's at account.wacom.com. So let's go ahead and open it up. And the directions right here on how to, in different languages, on how to hook it all up. So the first thing I see after I take the top off is I can see the pen display right on top. And it's wrapped in cloth, so I'm just going to take that out. And it's really light. It's very thin. Just take it right out of here. Ooh. So it's got a white back. Very, very simple. This is super light, and I can tell already how super portable it's going to be. And right on the back, I can see already nice, simple legs that pop out, like so. And right behind the legs, I don't know if you can see this or not, but right behind the legs, there's extra nibs right there. Extra nibs for the pen. Whoops, there we go. There they are. You can see them right there. Extra nibs in there. Very cool. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Here's my pen, my stylus right here. Bingo. Pull that right out of there. It's all stuck together. Boy, that tape is really good. Holy moly, that's sticky. I'll put that over there. So there's the little pen for the pen display right there. Whoops, we get it in the focus right there, and very nice. Now let me pull out the wires. Here's the power pack right here. Just plug into there. Very simple. Pull all this out. Here are the directions for hooking it all up right there. Very quick and easy. And so here with this power pack, you can see there's two little plugs here, and right down in here is our little plug adapter, and that just slides right in like so, I believe. Boop. There, now you got the plug. Okay? Nice and easy. Close that. This is really, really simple. And then here are the wires for a hookup to my Apple computer, which is, by the way, what I use. Now this will hook up to a PC as well. All right, so there we go. I'll put that off to the side. And that's it. That's all that's in the box. Like I said, it's very, very simple. Really great introductory pen display. If I open this up all the way, you'll see. I'm just going to make sure that there's nothing else in here. And there's not. It's empty. So that's all there is. I like that. I like how simple that is. All right, I'm going to put this off to the side and let's go ahead and hook it up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do before we can get going on our Wacom ONE is we have to install the driver. So I've just gone into Google and let's just do a search for Wacom ONE driver. And right here, drivers, Wacom, click on that. Very simple. And we want to find the products, resources below. So we'll go Wacom ONE. Okay, so Wacom ONE right there. And then it's going to give me a list of whether it's Windows, Mac, whatever it is. I'm a Mac user. I've downloaded this earlier, so all you have to do is click on download the Mac driver. Once it downloads to your computer, then just follow the instructions for installing. The one thing you have to remember is you got to reboot that computer when you're done installing it, okay? So let's go ahead and get this sucker hooked up. Okay, so now that we have our driver installed, all we have to do is hook it up to our computer. And to me, by far, this Wacom ONE, they've really simplified everything down and it's super easy to hook up. It's probably the easiest hookup that I've had on any of the Wacom models that I've ever had. And so the first thing we want to do is I'm just going to unwind our plugs here. And we have one end that's going to go into our computer. And then we have one end that's going to go into the wall, basically into the power supply, and then into the Wacom pen display itself. So first of all, this is the pen display plug, and it's a USB-C, so you've got that. And then here is the power supply. So it's just a USB, and it plugs in like so, like that. And I'm just going to drape it over, and my trusty son Dustin will be plugging that in to the power supply while I'm showing you the rest. So here, I'm going to bring this under. So here, right, this is the USB-C, and it just plugs in right to the back, right over here. Nice and easy. Poop, pops right in. Really nice and simple. So really, you've just got this one cord that's coming off of your Cintiq, or off of your Wacom ONE. I keep calling it a Cintiq, but it is basically, for me, it's a small Cintiq display. And then right here, it's time to hook up to the computer. And one is USB, one is HDMI. I've got that right on the side of my computer. For those of you that have only USB-Cs, you just need to get an adapter. Hook that in right there. And then we'll hook this in right here. Bingo. Right there, just like so. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my computer. And then right here on the back of the Wacom ONE is the power button. Boop. Just turn that on. And we can see it's on. Let me get that right in the screen. Just like that. And right away, we're ready to go. So let me pull my pen out from my pen display. I'm going to click on that. And already the pen's working. I'm going to type in my password. And now here we are. So we're already ready to set this up. So I want to go ahead and set up. I don't have to set all this up right now, so I'm just going to jump through next. I don't need to customize all my settings. I'm going to do that all later. Okay, so one of the things I do want to do is I want to calibrate my pen. So I'm going to go into System Preferences. I'm going to click on my Wacom tablet, and it's going to show me my pen, and I'm going to click on Calibration, and I'm going to click Calibrate right there, and it's going to give me a series of crosshairs that I just need to touch. From my point of view, I'm left-handed, so it's a little different for me. And then I go, okay. And now I'm perfectly calibrated and we're ready to go. Okay, so now we've got everything hooked up, and I've got my stylus all calibrated, and we're ready to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up Photoshop. I'm just going to do it here. I've got my screens mirrored right now. You can set up your screen any way you want, but I've got my screens mirrored on between my Cintiq and my computer. And so we're going to pull up Photoshop, and I'm just going to give it a shot and see how it feels. So let's jump up here, and I'm going to go open a new document. And let's go, oh, let's say 15 inches by 10 inches at 300 DPI. There we go. And let's just fill that screen. So I've got a grade document. Right now, everything, as far as the way I navigate, it feels really good. Okay, so I've gone ahead and filled in, graded my background there, and let's just go ahead and start with a nice dark, grab here, grab one of my old brushes. Let's see what I've got. Let's go up to here. There we go, my Pastel C. It's one I always love using. And I navigate everything on my keyboard right here, so you can see as I'm working. If you work with your left or right hand, I can do all my navigation right here. So I'm just blowing up the screen a little bit. And I gotta say, this pen feels really good. I think I may have found a new pen display that I'm going to use when I go on the road. I'm really pleasantly surprised. Now it's definitely, it's not quite as sensitive as the other Wacom pens. What is it? The Wacom 2, I think. I can't remember. But but it's good. I like it. Let's go a little smaller with the brush. Yeah, one of the things about, I think they've etched the glass because it feels really good. One of the things I don't like about my my iPad Pro is how smooth that glass is. And I need to get a cover, a surface cover that changes the way that it feels. But Wacom has gone ahead on several of their pen displays, this one included, and they've etched that glass, so it feels really nice when I'm drawing on it. And like I said, the resolution is standard HD. It's 1080 by 1920, and everything navigates really well. And one of the things that I get really sensitive to, first, for two reasons. My old eyes, I have a hard time with small type, and I'm used to, when I work at home, I work on a very large 32-inch Cintiq, and I work professionally, and so I always, you've heard me talk about it before. I always I'm very adamant about buying the best, if you can get it, for whatever business that you do. And I'm in the business of creating images, so I buy big Cintiqs. And so I have a hard time switching to the smaller Cintiqs and the smaller screens. If I'm working traditionally, for some reason it doesn't bother me so much, but sometimes it does when I switch over. And lately, I don't know if it's just because I've been doing it more often, I'm getting used to it, but making that switch to the smaller screen hasn't bothered me as much, especially when I go to my iPad. And so I'm noticing here, because I've gotten used to that iPad, I'm drawing on this and I have no problem at all. This actually feels really great. It doesn't weigh that much more than my iPad. The only drawback, like I said, is I have to make sure that I'm hooked up to my computer. And so there is a drawback there, but for me, for the experience, and for if I'm doing demonstrations and that sort of thing, this is very much going to be my choice moving forward. All I need to do right now, the sensitivity is a little bit off. I just need to go into my my preferences and change that up a little bit. Matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and mess with that? But let's go into preferences real quick. And I want to go to my pen. And let's set up our pressure sensibilities. So tip feel, I'm going to push it a little bit this way. Let's see how that feels. That feels a little better to me. So let's go ahead and dump that. And now some of the specs on this, Dustin just pulled up the specs, and I want to read them off to you, just so you have them in your head. So the actual active area on here is 11.6 by 6.5 inches, which is pretty good size. The screen itself is 13 1/3 inches. I find it really, really great, and it's a better surface than my iPad. It's 13 1/3 inches diagonal, 1920 by 1080 full HD display. Now the pen has 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity, so that's pretty good. I think that's really good. And like I said, I'm really happy with how it feels, especially on this etched glass. That's just a whole new thing. And I've got the etched glass on my other computer, my other Wacom display, and it feels really good. So I'm happy that they did that with this. Doing another bear. I can't stop drawing bears. I gotta love it. You know, you gotta love it. So this new pressure sensitivity is nice. I like that. Now that I've changed it up, feels really good. Actually, let me go back. I'm going to just mess around with it to see how it feels. Try going back the other way. Oh, that's way too heavy. Way too heavy. So let's go back. Just put it back in the middle. Yeah, maybe I'm going to try getting used to just working in the middle. There we go. You know, adapting to, 10 minutes ago, I was just working on my big Cintiq, and I've just jumped over to this, and it really, I mean, there's no adjustment whatsoever. It's really, really great. I can knock that opacity back, throw another layer on, and boom, we're at it. I'm really liking, like I said, the way this pen feels. For $399, I think this is worth it. This is it really feels nice. If you already have a tablet at home and you're looking to upgrade, I think this is definitely a way to do it. If you've already got a iPad Pro, you might want to consider this, although, like I said, one of the things that is a drawback on here is having to have your computer hooked up. But the drawing experience I find on this is way better than working on my iPad Pro. I like my iPad Pro, but I've worked on Cintiqs for years and years, and I have to admit that there's something unique about the drawing experience on a Cintiq, especially this one that has the etched glass. When you've got that etched glass, it really has a nice feel, and that's a big plus for me. This is all very, very intuitive. If you've already worked on a digital, a pen display in the past, then you'll find the transition to this really, really nice. If you already have a Cintiq and you're looking for a cheap, kind of portable alternative, for when you go on the road, or if you're doing demonstrations, I think this really, you might want to consider this. If you're looking for an introduction into, this world, then, just getting started, then I think this is definitely an option for you. Because, for $400, having this power at your fingertips and the ability to run Photoshop and some of the other great painting softwares, it's really, to me, that's a big plus. I'm a big fan of Wacom. I have been since since I started using their products about 14 years ago. And I love it. I absolutely love it. A lot of people ask me if I've tried some of the cheaper pen displays, and I have not. I've really jumped into I've jumped into Wacom, and I really never used any other product just because I love their product so much. And I know some of you feel like maybe they're a little too pricey and you don't want to do it, and that's fine. I've always been an advocate of I feel like Wacom is probably the best on the market, and I've always felt strongly about getting the best tools for whatever it is that you do, and I'm an image maker, and so I find that Wacom is the right product for me. But use your own judgment and take this video and see what you think. I'm really pleasantly surprised by this pen display. This is my first time you sitting here watching me use it. This is literally the first time I have touched it, and I really love it. So I'm just going to sit here in color. It's really great, and as long as you've got it hooked up to your computer and you've got a power source, you're going to be able to use this sucker anywhere. And like I said, I've got a 16 that I've been using for a while, but I might be replacing that 16. It's a little bit it gets a little bit bulky, even though it's small. It gets a little bit bulky for me to cart around with me internationally, especially. And so now that I've got this little guy and it's so light, man, is it ever light. I might start using this for my international travels and when I do my lectures overseas, because this is super responsive, and yeah, I love it. I just absolutely love it. Let's change those eyes to something darker. There we go. Yeah, this is, I'm digging this a lot. Gonna have to get Dustin on this and see what he thinks of it. We'll probably do a live stream in the next few days or weeks where we'll focus on this, do another little showing of it. I won't do an unboxing, but I'll definitely demonstrate it. Yep, I dig it. So there you go, folks. This is the Wacom ONE. It's a brand new entry-level pen display that retails for $399, and it's a 19 by 1080 HD display. The pen itself has 4,096 levels of sensitivity. The image area is 13 1/3 inches diagonal. It's great. I love it. The hookup is very simple. Downloading the drivers, this whole thing took 5 minutes to set it up right out of the box. And the only drawback, like I said, is that this is not self-contained like an iPad. This is going to be a pen display that needs to be hooked up to a computer, but it's a great entry-level display for anyone interested in getting into digital painting, and you want a pen display to do that with. I love it, and like I said, for the price, you can't beat it. So there's my unboxing for the Wacom ONE. I think it's a winner. So go out and maybe get a Wacom ONE pen display, put some beauty back into the world, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.